As Trump targets food stamps, hunger around the U.S. remains high. President Donald Trump is praising the Trump economy, touting how its booming numbers are a reason to add work requirements for food stamps, but new government research shows that hunger remains higher than it was before the Great Recession. About 11.8% of Americans were food insecure in 2017, representing about 15 million households, according to data released on Wednesday by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. That's down from 12.3% a year earlier, but still higher than the pre-recession rates of 11.1% in 2007, the agency said. Food insecurity, defined as failing to have enough food because of a lack of money or other resources, is a closely watched measure of hardship. The problem, say poverty experts, has never truly been solved since President Lyndon Johnson launched his war on poverty in the 1960s, which included food stamps. Hunger still touches every state in the country, the USDA said in its latest report. First thing to acknowledge that it's down, and a statistically significant decline from last year, but it's still 40 million people experiencing food insecurity, and we're still not quite back to pre-recession levels of 2007, said Elaine Waxman, senior fellow at the Urban Institute. President Trump tweeted this support for adding work requirements to food stamps on Wednesday morning, citing the growing economy as one reason for adding the stipulation. The Trump economy is booming with the help of House and Senate GOP, Mr. Trump wrote. Hashtag Farm Bill with SNAP work requirements will bolster farmers and get America back to work. Pass the Farm Bill with SNAP work requirements. Even though the economy is improving, the benefits aren't necessarily reaching the poorest Americans, and adding work requirements could lead to higher hunger and food insecurity rates, poverty advocates say. To be sure, most people who receive food stamps who can work are already working, but many of them are locked in unstable, low-paying jobs that don't guarantee steady hours each week or month, Waxman noted. If you don't work those hours every month, then your benefits will be jeopardized. We know that the kinds of jobs that are often available for people with less education come with unstable schedules. You might work 40 plus hours in landscaping in the summer, but the winter hours are much lower. About 2/3 of food stamp recipients are elderly, disabled, or children. Anti-hunger activists warned that adding work requirements could worsen food insecurity because of the hurdles the program would present to low-income Americans. Consider Maine, which imposed work requirements for its Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, in 2014, under Governor Paul LePage's push to reform its welfare programs. Food insecurity in the state has increased by 1 percentage point from the 2 years prior to the recession through 2015 through 2017, the USDA report found. The federal farm bill, like Maine's requirements, would cut off able-bodied adults without children from food stamps if they can't prove they're working at least 20 hours a week. But some advocates point out that low-income workers often have jobs where employers don't guarantee hours, such as retailers that rely on just-in-time work scheduling. A worker might get 25 hours one week but find their hours cut to 10 hours the following week. The Americans who are most likely to experience food insecurity include households with children, unmarried men and women, and Black and Hispanic households. Between 2005 and 2007, the 2 years before the recession, and 2015 to 2017, food insecurity increased in 18 states. The USDA study found. This is from CBS News. I've been telling you guys for the last 4 years that the cuts are already baked into the cake. Say what you want to about President Obama. We actually doubled the food stamp recipients, keep people alive, whether we like him or not, whether you agree with it or not. Keep down riots, keep down crime, keep down other kind of social unrest. He actually kept the food stamps fairly constant. Now, he did start to decrease the food stamps, or decrease the number of people on food stamps by, I think it was like, he started dropping like 10 or 15% in 2013. He actually started decreasing the number of people on food stamps. And it's no secret that Trump is actually doing the same thing. Now, if Trump was actually smart, he would actually say that all he's doing is trying to balance the budget. And President Obama had already tried basically to reduce the amount of people on food stamps. So all he's doing is really continuing on what was already done. But the thing is, most presidents like to take credit for being tough and wind up being blamed for things that they didn't do or they didn't start. Well, like I was saying 2 years ago, it's time to start tightening your belts because we're going to actually start needing each other. We're already seeing the racism already start to ramp up as people run out of money and as people are insecure. The level of violence will start to go up, and the level of friction between the races, white and black, especially white and black, is actually going to start to go up. So there's going to be a lot more police calls and you getting stopped and that kind of stuff. So just expect it, number one. They are going to start pushing poor whites and poor blacks together, which are probably the major two groups they probably shouldn't be putting together, because it is the poor whites and the poor blacks that actually have the most friction and the most strife. Normally, the upper class blacks and whites kind of get along, even if there's every now and then there's some incidences. So for you black women, this is not the time to actually go solo, okay? Especially black women with children. I'm going to tell you up front, the real reason nobody wants to get with a single mother is because of black women's attitudes. No man is going to put up with a woman who had a child or two by another man or another two men, where the children are unruly and basically undisciplined, along with the mother being undisciplined and unruly, and then expect a man to come in and try to police that and take care of you. It's not going to happen. So you're getting ready to get thrown to the wolves. Trust and believe. The homeless men, the men without jobs are already out there on the streets. Okay, that's where they are. I see them young and old with their hands out here in Los Angeles. Can't find a job, and you got 19, 20-year-old young men begging for dollars on the corner because there's nothing out there. And we're not even factoring in automation and robots and artificial intelligence. They're actually going to start coming and taking jobs, because these capitalist countries and capitalist organizations and corporations need to survive. How do they survive? They survive by cutting people. I have a program on my computer that actually stores notes. Very good program. Evernote. Okay, they just cut 54 employees. Now, Evernote is pretty lean, but they cut like 15 to 20% of their employees. And this is a high-tech company. Nobody's safe. I don't care whether you're a high school dropout or a PhD. Nobody's safe. So, at the end of the day, all we have is each other, and we better start finding each other. Drop the attitudes. Drop this I can do this shit by myself, because at the end of the day, when you're going up against a pack of wolves, you need a pack yourself. And if you're out there by yourself, you're going to get eaten alive. It's already starting to be not pretty. Snap cuts are just what they're talking about. That stuff has been in the work for a couple of years. Actually, this stuff has been in the works for 5 years. They've tried it many times as they cut the snap cards, cut the food stamps off, cut the people that get them in half. It hasn't worked out. Donald Trump, if he stays in office, and I'm pretty sure Mike Pence, if he doesn't stay in office, will come behind him and start cutting people, white and black. But guess who the black jelly beans at the bottom of the jar are? They're not the white folks. Black folks, get yourself together. Learn how to cook. Learn how to grow your food. Learn how to survive. And hopefully through learning how to survive, you'll learn how to thrive. Because at the end of the day, when you got a hungry belly, the rest of that shit doesn't matter. Anyway, short and sweet. That's all I got for this one. This is BGS out, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.